Crisis report. It is March 5th, 2025. We got tariff talks. A lot of tariff talks going on. So, saw the address last night by Trump. It's not the State of the Union because he just got in. It's his first one. It's called Presidential Address. So, you probably all have heard that and all that now. So, talking about all kinds of stuff, talking about his economic programs, talking about tax breaks, and talking about all kinds of changes that are going on all over the country. So, a lot of people are happy with him. Some are not. Pretty good approval of the speech itself. I think 75, so 3 out of 4 were cool with it. Other things, someone said too, it's true, polls can be manipulated, lies, damn lies, and statistics, as they say. So, speech was, long, but a little bit different, normal, kind of, for Trump. He just talked straight off, just told what's going on. So, hopefully you saw the lead, the new video that I do during the day, which is just about 3 to 5 minutes, just kind of give you a breakdown of the main story going on. And of course, today's was about the tariffs. And, a lot of things going on. So, we're going to cover it, and we appreciate you being here. But yeah, check that video out. It's just a way to kind of mix it up a little bit, get you guys a little heads up. So, crisis report's good, but it's been going kind of late, I know. So, my apologies, but I do have a family, and there's only so much I can do. And to be honest with you folks, this is the 6th video I put out today. 6th. So, you tell me. I'm pumping it out. So, to the person that got mad that I did not give full, how do I put it? He basically, he said, I was disrespectful for not calling him President Trump. I turn on the camera and I talk, man. Okay? That's all. This happened before. One guy got mad at me a little while ago for saying Orange Man bad. It is what it is, I'm just trying to put some content out there so people can kind of see what's going on and get an idea so they can get to prepping, Big message over on PrepperNow right now is there's a lot of really butthurt, angry leftists, and they're potentially violent. So that's why you prep. Let's be honest. Okay? So they are getting their act together. You mark my words, and you need to be vigilant and swiveling when you're out in public. So, hopefully you are. All right, folks. We about 3.5 minutes in. Let's get going on the crisis report. Please hit the like button and stuff. Hit all the bells and whistles and yada yada yada. We need all the love we can get over here. We're So I appreciate you being here. Just share it out. Talk to people. Tell people what we're doing here. And if anything were ever to happen to this channel, we would take it over to the Global Intel channel, as it's known. So if you are need a little bit more, going over there. Growing ever so slightly, but kind of throttle it. If my mods would like to put the Global Intel channel in there and then remove it after a little bit, that'd be great. Putting out about 3 videos a week out there now. So we're up in the game over there. Because we got a long way to go and a short time to get there, as I said, on PrepperNow. All right, folks. Let's get started with your crisis report for March 5th, 2025. Here we go. French President Macron says he's going to address the nation Wednesday at a moment of great uncertainty in the world. President Trump addressed Congress, said the media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation to secure the border, but it turned out all we really needed was a new president. Trump plans to take Greenland. Won't happen, Danish defense minister. He just was kind of like prodding him, saying, you guys should become American. I don't think he's got any plans to invade. Israel's mission against Hamas not accomplished, new military chief says. We don't want to be Americans or Danes. That's according to the Greenland Prime Minister. CIA Chief Ratcliffe confirms U.S. has halted intelligence sharing with Ukraine after Trump and Zelensky's meeting in the White House last week. Mexico is going to seek other trade partners if needed due to U.S. tariffs. President, of course. Zelensky says peace in Ukraine is entirely achievable under U.S. leadership. Panama president says Trump's lying about reclaiming the canal. Well, he is selling ports to BlackRock. U.S. official says possible Canada-Mexico tariff deal relief on categories. British officials said they had been in contact with the United States at various levels all day Tuesday to try to secure Zelensky's return. It's not just phone calls, it's more of an ongoing conversation, the source said. U.S. banned Britain from sharing U.S. intelligence data from Ukraine as part of the withdrawal of withdrawal of support to Ukraine. Trump admin has rejected an Arab-backed Gaza reconstruction plan, insisting on the Trump's vision, which includes displacing Palestinians and transforming the territory into a U.S.-owned Riviera. The current proposal does not address the reality that Gaza is currently uninhabitable, and residents cannot humanely live in a territory covered in debris and unexploded ordnance. So, not looking good over there. It's messed up. GOP sources say Rubio told people he is upset by his lack of foreign policy influence despite being the administration's top diplomat. One said that they felt as though Rubio is often the last to know when foreign policy decisions are made in the White House. That is by Vanity Fair. I'm going to take that with a big old rock of salt. Trump on Marco Rubio. We know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Ukrainian F-16 jet pilot thanks the people of the United States for their military support to Ukraine. 2 business jets collided with a C-17 overnight at Alliance Fort Worth Airport due to strong winds. More problems with the airlines. 73% of French believe that the United States is no longer a reliable ally, according to BFM TV. Italy's defense minister, Crosetto. The United States is an indispensable ally for us, Europe and NATO. Without it, we would lose deterrence and defensive capabilities. It would be a mistake to push the United States away and expect it to leave us on our own. Trump is considering relinquishing NATO leadership, expecting a British or French general to take over after a U.S. withdrawal. Israeli Chief of Staff flag handover from outgoing Herzi Halevi to incoming Eyal Zamir. Defense Minister Katz says our top priority is bringing the hostages home. If Hamas does not release them, we will resume fighting. We will never allow Hamas to rule Gaza again. Military aid pause to Ukraine will continue until Trump is convinced that Zelensky supports peace talks with Russia, according to the Wall Street Journal. Can British military recover? Well, that's a good question. I don't know if they can. European Parliament will urge EU leaders to strip Hungary of its voting rights in the Union. Ruh-roh. Members of the European Parliament from the Pan-European Volt send a 9-point action plan to EU leaders ahead of the upcoming summit. The plan calls for stripping Hungary of its voting rights, appointing Kaja Kallas as the EU's special full-fledged foreign minister, creating a joint European army, and amending treaties to expand the EU's defense and enlargement competencies. Greenland Prime Minister M.Ed says, "We are neither Americans nor Danes. We are Greenlanders. We are not for sale. Our future will be decided by us." Netanyahu says, "We will not allow our enemies in Lebanon and Syria to become stronger. We extend our hand to Druze allies and our Kurdish friends in the region of Judea and Samaria, the inheritance of our ancestors." Future German Chancellor Merz says that Europe must be able to defend itself. Europe's self-defense can no longer be delayed after Washington's decision to halt aid to Ukraine. Danish defense minister on Greenland joining the U.S. said that won't happen. The direction that Greenland wants to take will be decided by Greenlanders. NATO forces are unprepared for modern drone warfare, warns Colonel Vadim Sukharevsky, ahead of a Ukraine unmanned system forces as Ukraine and Russia compete for a technological edge 3 years into the war. Sukharevsky emphasized that drone warfare will evolve, or has evolved, significantly since Russia's 2022 invasion, disrupting traditional military doctrines. He warned that no NATO army is currently prepared to counter the scale and sophistication of drone warfare. North Korea's first airborne early warning and control aircraft spotted with radome. That's an AWACS. Satellite images suggest a fixed 3-panel system for 360-degree coverage, similar to Chinese designs. To date, North Korean state media has not disclosed many projects. So we'll see. U.S. has stopped intelligence sharing with Ukraine, potentially crippling Ukraine's ability to target Russian forces. The two officials confirm Washington has halted intelligence channels with Ukraine through intelligence on Russia, and Ukraine is still shared with key allies like the UK. Starmer of Britain said, "I agree that the absence of U.S. aid to Ukraine will place a terrible burden on Britain." Translation, "Our cash cow is dry." CIA Director John Radcliffe has just announced that the U.S. suspended weapons and intelligence support to Ukraine. He said that he looks forward to lifting the pause and working with Ukraine toward peace after receiving a letter addressed to Trump. So, obviously, Mr. Z-Man is trying to kiss and make up. Starmer of Britain said, "I don't want to risk direct military confrontation with Russia by deploying peacecoming forces to Ukraine. This is the last thing anyone wants to see." German Ministry of Defense says Germany has reached the limit of its ability to supply Ukraine with weapons from its own stockpiles. So, ISIS-K planner behind the 2021 Abbey Gate bombing at Kabul's airport, Mohammed Sharifullah, has been captured in Pakistan's Baluchistan province and has been extradited to the United States. Attack killed 13 U.S. service members and around 170 Afghans during the U.S. withdrawal. Sharifullah, a senior ISIS-K leader, allegedly coordinated the bombing. President Trump announced the capture, raising Pakistani cooperation and criticizing Joe's Afghanistan exit. President Trump's announced the capture, praising Pakistan cooperation and criticizing Biden's Afghanistan too. Suspension of U.S. intelligence sharing with Ukraine is selective. Kiev has been denied data needed for deep strikes deep inside Russia. Deep. Prime Minister Mishustin says that Western sanctions aimed to deprive our women of flowers, but they failed. PKK, YPG, SDF, terror groups, leaders, Ferhat, Sabdi Sahin, known as Mazlum Koban, say they welcome Israel's support. United States Supreme Court has denied Trump's emergency bid to cancel nearly, I think that says, $2 billion in U.S. aid spending. Trump administration has changed its position on detaining immigrants in Guantanamo. Despite Trump's desire to detain them, it is too early. Scaled-down version of Trump's Guantanamo plan seems the likeliest outcome, as other options such as Fort Bliss, Texas, are available with lower costs. U.S. will not supply weapons or share intelligence with Kiev until a specific date for the Ukraine-Russia peace talks are at rest. The United States has halted all intelligence sharing with Ukraine. Previously, only intelligence for strikes inside Russia was restricted, but now all information exchange has stopped. Trump administration has been secretly engaging in direct negotiations with Hamas, secure release of American hostages held in Gaza, and explore a broader ceasefire agreement. This marks the first time the U.S. has directly negotiated with Hamas. Zelensky, we are preparing a plan for the first steps towards a just and sustainable peace. We are working on it quickly. It will be ready in the near future. Hold on real quick. All right, hold on. There we go. Oh, messed it. I messed up. Oh, look. There we go. There's a bug. All right, so attention, Prime Minister Starmer. Where was I? Home intelligence. Here we go. Trump administration has been secretly engaging in direct negotiations with Hamas to secure the release of American hostages held in Gaza and explore broader ceasefire agreement. Zelensky says we are preparing the plan for the first steps toward and just sustainable peace. We are working on it quickly. Pentagon nominee Eldridge Colby says Japan should be spending at least 3% of GDP on defense as soon as possible. Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba, Japan decides its defense budget by itself. It does not decide based on what other nations are telling it. Ukraine's stocks of Patriot missiles could run out in a matter of weeks, according to CNN. U.S. Defense Secretary Hegseth's response to China says, "We're prepared. Those who long for peace prepare for war." A lot of fighting words. Teams from Ukraine. There you go. A little stink bug. I need to catch it and give it to my chickens. Teams from Ukraine and the U.S. will meet soon for talks. 80% of Ukraine's intelligence comes from allied countries, largely the United States. We have started working on meeting with the U.S. There is positive movement. We hope for the first results next week. Zelensky will attend the European Union Summit tomorrow in Brussels. Trump and Justin Trudeau have spoken following the implementation of tariffs yesterday. Trump announced that he has gone to Trudeau and blamed him for his weak border policies. And by halting intelligence sharing with Ukraine, the Trump administration has effectively rendered certain weapons, such as HIMARS, inoperative, as their targeting relies on U.S. intelligence. Trump says it has called Trudeau, and in a somewhat friendly manner, he will grant a 1-month exemption for U.S. automakers from new tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada. White House, we have consulted with Israel regarding the negotiations with Hamas. 10 Chinese hackers have been charged alongside 2 Chinese law enforcement officers. Global hacking campaign that targeted dissidents. Macron says Russia threatens all of Europe. If a country that can invade its neighbor in Europe and go unpunished, nobody can be sure of anything. He then said, "I want to believe that the U.S. will remain on our side, but we will have to be ready for it if they can no longer be on our side." I want to believe that the U.S. will remain there we go. Macron doesn't rule out the deployment of European troops to Ukraine. Macron says he had decided to open a discussion on the use of France's nuclear weapons to protect the entire EU. Trump announces the top terrorist involved in the Abbey Gate bombing, 13 service members were killed, was arrested and is on his way to the U.S. to face justice. He said that the attack took place in Kabul's airport during the disastrous American pullout from Afghanistan. Congratulations to Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir for becoming the 24th Chief of Staff of the IDF. 77 retired U.S. generals and admirals have urged President Trump to back potential Israeli military action against Iran, warning that Tehran is close to achieving nuclear capability. Earlier today, Wednesday, a number of suspects were identified loading weapons into vehicles in the area of Naqoura in southern Lebanon. The IAF struck out at the vehicles in order to break them down. So, activity of the suspects constitutes a blatant violation of the understandings between Israel and Lebanon. Supreme Court rejects Trump on the USAID foreign aid freeze and restores order mandating payments. Representative Maxine Waters suggests that Elon Musk may have stolen the election using sophisticated technology. Something wrong with that woman. First-term Texas Representative Sylvester Turner, a Democrat that passed away over a medical emergency at 70 years old, leaving just taken the oath of office in January. Trump administration has suspended the use of military aircraft for deportation flights due to high costs. First term Texas Representative Sylvester Turner, he passed away. Trump administration has suspended the use of military aircraft for deportation flights due to high costs. So just imagine. Elon Musk Doge cancels leave at Obama Presidential Library site. Let me show. Yep. Elon Musk Doge cancels lease at Obama's Presidential Library site. Speaker Mike Johnson's chief of staff Hayden Haynes was arrested for DUI following Trump's speech last night. Thomas Massie has officially reintroduced the End the Fed bill to completely dismantle the Federal Reserve. Americans would be better off if the Federal Reserve did not exist, air quotes. Trump administration is weighing criminal charges against USAID staffers for fraud, waste, and abuse uncovered by Doge. Attorney General Pam Bondi has opened an investigation into alleged anti-Semitism at the University of California. Macron's speech to the French nation refuses to rule out the possibility of deploying European troops to Ukraine. France will open discussions on extending its nuclear umbrella to European partners. Peace will return to our continent with a pacified Russia. France has the most effective army in Europe. Europe's future must not be determined by Washington or Moscow. Sales of Elon Musk's Tesla in the UK rose by more than a fifth last month as demand for the battery-powered cars increases. 10 Chinese hackers have been charged alongside 2 Chinese law enforcement officers in global hacking campaign that targeted dissidents. Los Angeles County sues Southern California Edison, alleging utilities equipment sparked the wildfire that took off. So, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is going to cut some 80,000 jobs in the memo that we got earlier. That's why it's... Anyway. There you go. There's its sister thing. Mohammed Sharifullah, alleged co-conspirator in the murder of American soldiers at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan, apprehended and extradited last night, wheels down to face American justice. FBI Director Kash Patel says Trump's thankful Pakistan for help in stress. Elon Musk suggests that U.S. should privatize the Postal Service and Amtrak, according to Fox News. Disney lays off nearly 200 employees, with ABC News tip of the spear on that one. Federal appeals court is allowing President Trump to remove the head of a government watchdog agency. Macron announces that France will open discussions on extending its nuclear umbrella to make it a pan-European nuclear umbrella. European Parliament will call on EU leaders to deprive Hungary of its voting rights in states or in the Union. Germany resistance fighters, this is terrible, from the Antifa have been deployed to the private residences of far-right activists to denounce their fascist activities. What a terrible thing to do. France will use nuclear weapons in the event of an extensive threat to West Germany to protect this sector because of its part of the Paris nuclear doctrine. There we go. Pentagon chief, U.S. ready for war with China after Beijing's tariff threat. Defense Secretary Hegseth, Washington is prepared for possible threats and continues to strengthen its military. According to him, those who want peace should be prepared for war. That's right. Israel to take full control of humanitarian aid in Gaza. Israel plans to oversee all aid entering and distributing into Gaza, allowing only one entry point, Karam Shalom. Aid will be screened, tracked, and directed to Israeli-controlled logistics hubs with potential private security involvement. Aid workers may also face mandatory vetting. Many international aid groups say they won't cooperate with the plan. South Korean Air Force KF-16 fighter jet accidentally dropped bombs on a civilian area during a live fire exercise. Ouch. KF-16 last jet accidentally dropped 8 MK-82 bombs outside the designated area. 4 people were seriously injured and 3 were not. White House spokesman confirms that the U.S. held direct talks with Hamas. And West Virginia Senate lawmakers have passed a bill, check this out, to ban certain artificial dyes and preservatives in fraud. Who'd have saw that coming? All right, friends, that's your crisis report for March 5th, 2025. Hit the buttons and stuff. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you on the next one. PrepperNow out.